Hey, Dr. Brett here again. So let's come back to this, the concept of like getting more poised and more comfortable around the opposite sex in dating and relationships. Now, my young friend said that it's helpful becoming a better listener, but he's very inconsistent. In other words, he comes in and out of his own head. That's a great way to think about life, right? When we're more present, when we're more in here and now, we tend to be less headbound. When we have a tendency to be headbound, it's not just about dating and relationships that we run into trouble. We run into trouble in business situations, doing presentations, doing sales calls, right? If we get headbound, we're not going to be as good. We're not going to be as sharp. We're not going to really deliver any kind of product or any kind of service as well as we could be. So we want to practice in life becoming less headbound. Too many people are in their heads. What do I mean by in their heads? They're focused on so much of their own thoughts and their own fears and their own anxieties and all that stuff. And it's not really necessary. We can practice becoming more grounded, paying attention to our breathing, looking out at the trees, at the water. You can see this beautiful water behind me. It's actually all around me. All I have to do is stare at it for a moment and I get more present, and I also start to feel more alive. So when we're with somebody, we can become a better listener, but we can also pay attention to the nuances of their bodies and how they move their hands and everything. Now, I'm not saying in some kind of weird, awkward way, but if we actually pay more attention, then we become less self-conscious. But we can also pay attention to ourselves in a relatively non-self-conscious way as well by noticing when we get nervous in what situations, when we have self-confidence and what causes that. And if we start to notice what causes us to have more self-confidence, like maybe it's the fact that we really exercised and we ate really well that day and we got into a really nice rhythm because we took our time and we did things a little bit differently. If we notice those kinds of things, then we could do more of them. If we notice that when we eat Doritos all day and all kinds of junk food, then we feel like sort of crummy and we have less self-confidence, then you could do less of that. So part of it is paying attention, part of it is becoming in the here and now, part of it is becoming a better listener. These are just some thoughts. Dr. Brett, psychologist, consultant, and coach.